All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we are taking a deep dive into something pretty fascinating.
Okay, I'm ready.
We're going to explore the digestive system, and we're going to look at it in a whole new light.
Sounds good.
You ready to kind of think of it as like the operating system of your body?
I like that analogy. I'm excited to dive in.
Because we're going to uncover just how much a healthy gut impacts, well, every single aspect of your health.
Yeah, it's really amazing how much it affects,
Pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll bust some myths along the way. Those common misconceptions about digestion.
Oh, there are so many out there.
So many. And I'm so glad to have our expert here with us today
Glad to be here.
who can, help us kind of wade through all of this.
Well, that comparison you made about the digestive system being like an operating system,
Yeah.
it's spot on. I mean, think about it. A computer completely relies on its OS to run smoothly, right?
Right. Yeah, it's like the foundation.
Exactly. And our bodies, well, they depend on a healthy digestive system for, well, pretty much everything, like optimal function. It
Yes.
impacts everything. I'm talking energy production, hormone balance, even, things like our ability to think clearly.
Wow.
It's all influenced by what's going on in our gut.
So you're saying that if
Everything.
I'm feeling sluggish,
Could be your gut.
if my hormones are all over the place,
Check your gut.
if I can't focus,
Look to your gut.
it all comes back to the gut. Okay, so it sounds like if we want to upgrade our overall health, step one is optimize our internal operating system.
Exactly. And a great place to start is by, well, addressing those common misconceptions, the ones that kind of lead us astray.
The myths. All right, let's bust some myths. What's the first one on our list?
So the first one is a big one. It's the idea that digestion is just about food.
Yeah, I can see how people might think that, right? It seems pretty straightforward. You eat, you digest, that's it.
Right. It's easy to think of our gut as, basically just a tube, like a food processor. But honestly, it's so much more than that.
So much more.
For example, did you know that something like 70% of your immune cells
Wow,
would
70%.
actually reside in your gut?
That's a huge percentage. I had no idea.
It's a pretty powerful reminder that, digestion plays a big role in your body's defense system.
So a healthy gut equals a strong immune system. Got it. What else? What are some of the other ways our gut is impacting our health?
Well, research is showing us more and more that the gut is, deeply involved in hormone regulation.
Okay.
For instance, there are certain gut bacteria that can actually influence the production of serotonin.
Okay, and serotonin is?
Serotonin is a neurotransmitter, and it plays a huge role in your mood, like how happy you are,
Okay.
your sleep, and even, things like your appetite.
So nourishing my gut can actually lead to like a happier mood and better sleep.
It definitely can contribute. It's all interconnected. And this brings us to another myth, the myth that more protein always equals better results.
Yeah, we hear that one a lot. Like if you want to build muscle or be stronger or just be healthier in general, you need to eat lots and lots of protein.
Right, but here's the thing. Without proper digestion, you're not actually absorbing all those nutrients from the protein, even if you're eating tons of it.
So it's not just about quantity.
No.
It's about quality of digestion.
Exactly. It's about making sure your body can actually break down the protein, and
Right.
absorb it. Digestive enzymes, those are key for actually breaking down protein into the amino acids your body can use.
Okay.
And overall gut health, well, that plays a huge role in how efficiently your body can actually absorb and use those nutrients.
So it's like having a super powerful computer,
Right.
right? But you have like really bad software running on it. You're not going to get the best performance.
That's a great analogy.
Okay, good. Okay, what about probiotics?
Ah, probiotics. Okay.
So we hear so much about probiotics and gut health.
Yeah.
There's kind of this myth that they're like this magic cure-all.
Right.
Like you take a probiotic pill and suddenly all your gut problems are solved.
Yeah, I mean, while probiotics definitely can be beneficial, it's important to remember that they're not, a one-size-fits-all solution.
Okay.
It's not that simple. Think of your gut microbiome as, kind of like a diverse ecosystem. Like imagine a garden.
Okay.
And it's teeming with all these different plants,
I like that visual.
Probiotics, they're kind of like introducing new plants into this garden. But, you need more than just the plants themselves.
Yeah.
You need fertile soil, right?
Yeah,
You
got
need
it.
sunlight, you need water, all of that for your plants to thrive.
To create the right environment.
And that's kind of where prebiotics come in. They act as food for the beneficial bacteria.
Oh,
And then you've got fiber. That adds bulk. It supports a healthy gut environment. So it's really about creating the right conditions for all those good bacteria to flourish.
So it's not just about adding the good stuff. It's also about creating the right environment for the good stuff to grow and thrive.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about how digestion is way more than just about food. It's about our immune system. It's about hormones. It's about making sure we're absorbing nutrients properly. But what about this one? What about the idea that acid reflux always means you have too much stomach acid?
Okay, yeah, this is a big one because it might surprise you to learn that a lot of cases of acid reflux are actually caused by low stomach acid.
Wait, really? That doesn't make sense. I always thought acid reflux meant there was too much acid splashing up.
I know, it seems counterintuitive, but think about it this way. When there isn't enough stomach acid, the food you eat, it doesn't break down properly.
Oh.
And that can lead to all sorts of issues, including, reflux.
Wow. This is a real aha moment for me.
Yeah.
I think this really highlights how important it is to understand the root causes of these digestive issues.
Yes.
Instead of just treating the symptoms.
Absolutely, because sometimes the symptoms can be misleading,
Yeah.
They might point you in the wrong direction.
Right. Okay. So last myth we're going to tackle today is the myth that gut health is only about, the gut.
Right. Yeah.
Which, knowing everything we've talked about so far, seems a little silly.
It does, right. Because your gut is really intricately connected to pretty much every other system in your body.
I was going to say, this has to tie back to the operating system idea.
It totally does. Like, we've already talked about the gut-brain axis, that connection between your gut and your brain.
Right.
But there's also a really strong link between gut health and inflammation, like inflammation throughout your whole body, systemic inflammation. And that's becoming more and more recognized as a factor in, a lot of chronic health conditions.
So it's like a domino effect.
Kind of, yeah.
Like, if your gut's not healthy, it can trigger inflammation, which can then lead to other problems.
Exactly. It really highlights how something we often take for granted, like digestion,
Right.
can have huge effects on our well-being.
So we need to stop thinking of our gut as like a separate entity.
Yeah.
It's really the foundation.
Yes, it's like this central hub that's influencing everything. Our energy levels, our immunity, hormone balance, mental clarity. It's all connected to the gut.
So to wrap things up, if we want to upgrade our health, we need to prioritize our gut health.
100%. And it really comes down to understanding that we're not just a bunch of separate parts, We are a collection of systems that are all working together.
And the digestive system is like the conductor of the orchestra.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, before we end this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final question to think about. Knowing how central your gut is to your overall health, what's one small change you can make today to support it?
That's a great question to consider. And remember, even small steps can make a big difference.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for taking us on this fascinating journey through our internal operating system.
That was my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Keep exploring, keep learning, and remember, knowledge is power when it comes to taking charge of your health.
Absolutely.